Welcome to the 2014 HyVee Kids Fit Triathlon Show. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll showcase one of the fastest growing sports in the country and profile some amazing kids who've bonded together through their training. Good evening, I'm Katie Lingle. Since 2008, HyVee has been a part of making triathlons happen all across the United States and especially in the Midwest. Here's the breakdown of the distances covered for each age division in a typical youth triathlon. Participants are split into 3 different groups based on their age. Ages 6 through 8 are in the junior division, where they swim 50 yards, bike 2 miles, and run for 500 yards. Ages 9 to 11 are in the intermediate division, where they swim 150 yards, bike 4 miles, and run for 1 mile. The senior division has kids from ages 12 to 15. They swim 300 yards, bike 8 miles, and run 2 miles. Over the course of this year, 6 different HyVee triathlons will be held all across the country, culminating in the National Championship in Des Moines, Iowa on August 30th. In today's program, we'll feature the Sioux Falls Triathlon, which was held on June 14th at Wall Lake Park. When we come back to the HyVee Kids Triathlon Show, we'll follow a pair of Sioux Falls siblings who make the triathlon a family affair. We'll take you inside their training next. Welcome back to the 2014 HyVee Kids Fit Triathlon Show. On paper, a triathlon might seem to be all about the individual, but if you look a little closer, it's more of a team sport than you might think. One Sioux Falls family has embraced that concept. Here's Alex Heinert.
Most kids like to be active during their summer vacation.
I really like biking.
Running is just my thing.
I enjoy swimming.
But the Drogue siblings of Sioux Falls take summer activity to another level. 12-year-old Hannah and 10-year-old Wilson are both aspiring triathletes, and they're in full training mode. They've competed in several youth tries in recent years and are gearing up for this June's HyVee Kids Triathlon at Wall Lake. An active lifestyle isn't unfamiliar to the Drogue family, as Hannah and Wilson compete in a variety of sports.
Basketball.
I play basketball and football.
I'm probably doing cross country this year.
Though the triathlon concept was a bit foreign at first to their mother, Terry.
I had never even seen one till Hannah competed in one. She went and Googled it and found a race, and it happened to be at Wall Lake, so we did it.
After Hannah finished her first try that day, it wasn't long until her younger brother joined in. The two are now members of the Z3 Youth Triathlon team and are coached by Kathy Grady. And while 10 years old might seem a bit young to start, Grady explains that some of her charges began much younger.
We start at 6 years of age, and that would be our little zippers, they're called, and we actually go up to high performance kids or elite kids who race draft legal racing.
Training can be fun.
I like to go to training and learn new things.
But it can be a challenge at times when things get busy, especially during the school year.
Towards the end of the week, I can tell they're getting tired and they have school the next day, but it's such a great group of kids, they're excited to come see their friends.
Grady stresses that keeping training varied helps make the hard work fun for athletes of all ages.
So we do try to get in the pool at least 2 to 3 times a week with the kids too. Also same thing with biking, we try to encourage them to bike at least 2 to 3 times a week, and running. So you got to try to throw in all components as much as you can.
And that variety, plus the sense of fun and accomplishment, is why Terry thinks her kids will continue to compete in tries for years to come.
Hannah wants to do this forever. Hannah's really, really, really into it. He likes doing it. He likes being with his friends.
Obviously, the Drogue kids enjoy being triathletes.
It's probably the best thing ever.
But Grady warns against signing your children up if they aren't taken by the sport.
You have to have an interest in it. It's not something that you can just say, oh, I want my kid to be a triathlete, and then have them go to practice, because you know what, it's not going to be fun for them, it's not fun for the coach.
However, if they are interested, it can be a great experience for everyone involved.
It is so much fun when you have kids who want to be there, and they put in the effort, and you're not constantly going, okay, you need to be working hard, you need to listen and stuff. So it is very exciting to have kids who want to be part of the program.
And even at just 10 years old, Wilson already sees the benefits of all that's required to be a triathlete.
It makes you stronger and faster, and it just helps you a lot.
And Mom Terry can see it too.
The skills they learn, the friendships they make, the work ethic that they get, it's just huge. It's just setting a foundation for their life.
Preparing for a triathlon requires more than just swimming, biking, and running. We'll tell you another important factor that goes into the training process when we come back. Welcome back. Triathlons are tough on people of any age. Adults who compete on a regular basis have to follow a strict diet and exercise regimen in order to be in top physical condition. And the same applies to our HyVee Kids triathletes as well. Nutrition is obviously vital in any type of training, but in an endurance competition for kids, such as a triathlon, those nutritional needs are extra important. If you're participating in the triathlon or have a child participating, knowing what you put into your body and when is extremely important. Sanford Sports Science Institute dietitian Noah Bujanover knows exactly what your diet should look like. Weeks before the competition, she recommends this.
Mainly we want to have a very balanced diet. We also want to drink appropriately, especially now since summer is coming. Hydration is a big issue. We tend to lose quite a lot of fluids. With children, I find that a lot of them skip breakfast, so that's a very important meal, especially since sometimes when we reach closer to the triathlon, we may do 2 sessions in a day, like we swim in the morning and then we run in the afternoon or later on. It's really important to focus on hydration and breakfast. It's important to focus on vegetables and fruits because those are going to help us with recovery. It's going to help us also with fighting that inflammation that is caused due to exercise. And then we also want to focus on things like protein and whole grains because that's going to help us also with recovery and building and replenishing some of the energy that we had used prior in the day.
And what about sports drinks? Should you be using them, or is water good enough?
So if the activity is typically underneath 60 to 75 minutes, then water is best, and that's what we need to hydrate throughout the day with as well. But if we do exceed that amount, or if we're doing a very rigorous training session that's maybe more than 45 minutes, that's when the sports beverage might come into play, because we do need to replenish those electrolytes and some carbohydrates to help us stay in that activity for a longer period of time. Sometimes we may also recommend a sports beverage if, like I said, we have those 2-a-days where we swim in the morning and then in the afternoon, early in the afternoon, we might go running. So to kind of get both in one, meaning the fuel and the hydration.
On to the day of the competition. How much should you change up your regular diet?
Well, that's really interesting because it depends on when the wave is. Most commonly, the children wave is the last. And so we want to focus on first definitely eating breakfast. Breakfast doesn't need to be heavy, meaning it doesn't need to be, eggs and bacon and sausage and biscuits, but it could be something light, like for example, a grilled cheese sandwich, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Definitely we need to drink about 10 to 20 ounces of fluids. If some children, if they like sports beverage, that is a good time to also incorporate that sports beverage in there.
It's getting close to race time. Are you done fueling up?
About 30 minutes to an hour before the beginning of the race, I typically recommend at least about 8 to 14 ounces of a sports beverage, kind of like fueling a little bit before and hydration before, making sure, of course, we go to the restroom before we start, and to help that edge off. Some children are really, really nervous before the race, so one of the things you can do is like have them eat a banana and drink some water, which is also a good fuel strategy a little bit before.
You've completed the race. You might be surprised by this chocolate treat Bujanover recommends for recovery.
Chocolate milk is one of the best recovery drinks out there, mainly because of the composition of the protein to carb ratio and the type of protein in there. And then, like I said earlier, hydration is a big issue when it comes to exercise in general. So we also got that component in the chocolate milk.
So there you have it. Everything you need to know about fueling up for your next HyVee Kids Triathlon. After the break, we'll talk to a 4-time Olympic triathlete who's been a big part of HyVee Kids Fit triathlons across the country. That's coming up next. Welcome back. Some of you might think that these kids seem young to compete in an event that takes so much endurance and hard work, but for Hunter Kemper, his involvement in the sport at an early age eventually led him to make the U.S. Olympic team a record 4 times. Kemper has competed in every Summer Olympics since the year 2000, and he was at this year's Sioux Falls Tri to encourage our athletes and give them a few pointers.
I started the sport of triathlon back in 1986, which really dates me. You know, I'm now 38 years old, and I started swimming when I was 6 years old. So some swimming friends of mine got me started. I did my very first race. It was a 100-yard swim, a 5K bike ride, and a 1K run. It took me 17 minutes to do, and I beat 2 other 10-year-olds. So that's pretty good, right? Best of 3. Just love the fact that you're being outside, you're active, you know, it's a very health and wellness type of sport, you know, and I love the competition side as well, you know. I mean, I was a serious triathlete when I was younger, and now I travel all over the country doing the sport of triathlon.
Best day ever here in Sioux Falls, watching these kids, juniors.
For me as a professional triathlete, I train usually 2, but probably up to 3 times a day. So I'm swimming in the morning, usually about 2 to 3 miles of swimming. I'll bike about 40 miles of cycling in a day, and then I'll run maybe in the afternoon, say 8 to 10 miles of running. So I'm training about 4 to 5 hours, 6 days a week. So it's about a 30-hour work week. So it's a pretty full schedule, and that's all I do. I'm a full-time professional athlete with sponsors like HyVee that help me out and support me to train as I want to go back for my 5th Olympic Games. When I was a kid growing up and as I got older, I focused more on my nutrition, you know. So when I was younger as a professional, when I was 22 years old, I didn't really care. I thought, you know, I work out, I train all the time, I can eat whatever I want. And then I realized, you know, what I'm putting into my body is that fuel, it's the engine. And so I should eat maybe cleaner, healthier foods. So I eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, a lot of whole foods, a lot of whole grains, a lot of pasta before races, kind of carbo load to get that energy, and a lot of protein post workouts to kind of get that recovery going as well, to get those muscles rejuvenated and recovered. So I eat about 5,000 to 7,000 calories a day. I eat a lot of food, but it's more about the timing of when I eat. I try to eat more consistently throughout the day. So my advice to anyone out there, adult or kid, is to increase that metabolism, to kind of stay fit and to keep that engine going, is to eat more smaller meals throughout the day versus like eating a big breakfast and then waiting like 5 hours to eat lunch and then another 5 hours for dinner. Have snacks along the way, whether it be yogurt or, you know, a bar to carry with you, an apple, a banana, something along the way, a smoothie, something to have between the meals to kind of keep your engine going.
We're watching these finishers. You know, Michael, speaking of that post-race nutrition. Look up that. Look at this guy. Yes. Anybody? Yeah. That's the only for you? Wow, Jay, I learned a lot. Pass on, everybody. My meals are mozzarella sticks and Wendy's and Chipotle. That's how it's done right there. That's how you do it. Come out, Sioux Falls. You guys got to come out next year.
Every kid loves to run, ride their bike, and swim. All kids enjoy doing that. So why not put that together in a sport of triathlon and encourage kids and kind of create like a pipeline and start early? You know, I think it's fun. But you don't have to be so serious. To come out to one of these events, HyVee's not trying to look for maybe the next Olympian. We want we want to have the kid to be healthy, fit, and active. Because I think childhood obesity these days, it's big. And kids are too much inside. They're playing on their tablets or their phones or whatever, and they're not engaged of just kind of going out and playing outside and just being active. And going for a bike ride with mom and dad, or going for a run or a jog with mom and dad. You know, doing those things. Going in the pool and just splashing around and having a good time. That's all you need to do a triathlon. So I want to encourage you guys that are watching this that it's easy, it's fun, and I promise you'll enjoy doing it.
Kemper's goal is to become the first triathlete to compete in 5 Olympics at the Rio Games in 2016. Coming up next, we'll have all the highlights from the Sioux Falls HyVee Kids Fit Triathlon. Plus, we'll hear from our winners as the HyVee Kids Fit Triathlon show continues. Welcome back. After months of training, watching what they eat, and getting a pep talk from a former Olympian, it was time for the kids to hit the course at Wall Lake. Despite a few cloudy skies, the conditions were close to excellent for our young triathletes. Let's go to the highlights, starting with the senior division.
It felt good. I felt good on the swim, and the headwind out on the bike, that was kind of hard. But when you turned around, it was really easy, and just you flew on the way back. And then the run was nice.
It feels really good. I was really surprised because I wasn't really coming in feeling that great, but it's nice to know that I'll be going on to nationals, so it'll be fun.
Here are the top placers broken down by age in the senior division. We just heard from Nick Johnson, who was the overall boys division champion, and from Kenzie Wilson, the top girls division competitor. Other top placers included Ike Mendel, Zach Wilson, and Luke Jackman for the senior boys, and Jade Mountain, Emma Howman, and Kiki Levy for the senior girls.
I love the thrill when you finish, like when they pronounce your name and you're running with all the people cheering. I just love that thrill at the end.
I don't know, you're just finishing and you can relax.
Here are the top placers by age for the intermediate division. We just heard from our 10-year-old champions Adrian Mojan and Carson Lane. Joining them on top of the podium was Max Holt and Jackson Plum on the boys' side, and Maya Levy and Ava Birchmeyer for the girls. Levy and Lane were the top overall intermediate finishers.
It felt good, it felt fun, felt joyful.
In third place.
Last but not least, here are the top finishers in the junior division. Sia Karyov and Henry Gruss had the best overall times for the juniors, while Caden Lane, Hunter Bishop, Julia Ogren, and Zoe Jones rounded out our champions for the day. Congratulations again to all of our competitors at Wall Lake this year, and best of luck to the athletes who qualified for nationals in Des Moines later this summer. That's going to do it for this year's edition of the HyVee Kids Triathlon Show. For Midco Sports Network, I'm Katie Lingle.